April, May, June. That's a quarter. And guys, this has been the most horrible quarter of my life. Maybe the second most horrible quarter. The first one being the first quarter I had. Monitor whiskey from Chennai. Anyways, 3 months of lockdown, both literally and figuratively, I think it's growing on me. But guys, there is nothing to worry about Corona. As far as you keep yourself clean, there is nothing to be worried about. And in fact, I am though not even bothered about it because I do only clean comedy, you see.
Oh, beautiful!
So many have been asking me, why jalebi? Guys, because jalebi is much more than a sweeter. It's like a way of life. No, seriously. Because jalebi is that spiritual substance that tells you that no matter how many times you are bent in life, still be sweet. And not just that, my show is about taking people down the memory lane. So, in a way, it is like that yesteryear movie's flashback, which is represented by a spiral, and the sweet that comes closest to a spiral. Yeah, jalebi. So that's the reason why I picked jalebi. And not just that, jalebi is an emotion, guys. Especially if you have grown up in the 80s and 90s, you will remember that jalebi is the thing that brought you home when you wanted to run away from home. I'm sure everybody recalls this particular advertisement where the kid wants to run away from the house, sits in the railway station, but then the Pakkad Manya uncle comes and says, Mummy is making jalebi, and he comes back home. Trust me, this is not just an advertisement for a cooking oil, but actually a depiction of life back in 80s. Really? You know what? After all my research and analysis, I have understood that the best parents ever were those who became parents during the 80s. And the best kids ever were those who were born during the 80s. No, let me explain. Now imagine the same situation where the kid is running away from the house and is sitting in the railway station. If it were the parents of the 60s, there would be so much of melodrama where the mother would start running, hitting her head against the wall and crying, saying like, is this the reason why I bore you for 9 months in my stomach? I fed you my blood. And there will be that, not so caring father who would say, Janaki, it's okay. At the end of the day, our kids are not our kids. But in 1980s, that didn't happen. All they did was they didn't even come to the railway station. They would just make the jalebi at home. And guess what? There is a subtle note of control of the mother over the child that is also represented in this advertisement. Because back then, when your mother makes something special for you, which only happens because you have picked up a fight and you are so annoyed that there is a very fair chance that you might leave the family and go. In those circumstances, if your mother has made something, then there is no other option. You have to eat it. Because if you hold on to your grudge to make your mother take the guilt trip and not eat it, and God forbid by any chance, if it gets wasted, forget you taking the train and running away, she will ensure you are tied to the engine of the train and that train never ever comes back to your town. Because the food never gets wasted. Well, thank you so much, and I'm super excited to start the first episode of Comedians on Zoom Getting Jilebi. And the first guest on our show is somebody who is known to be the mentor for champions. I'm very proud that he has been somebody who has mentored me as well in becoming a comedian. As a professional degree in quality management from Rich Pilani. He has over 25 years of experience working for various organizations. The last job he did was being the HR head of an electronics firm, and after that he has been a consultant providing various trainings. But that aside, I must tell you, every word of him Every sentence that he makes, every statement that he makes is full of humor. A lovely person to share life with and talk about the stuff that you always wanted to talk to with a friend, philosopher, guide. Please welcome Mr. TK Ramesh.
As you all know, I grew up in Chennai, a place it's very hot, humid, dusty, lot of people, and I did my schooling there, college there. So during my 10th standard, I had to go by bus, right? So the buses at Chennai, like it'll be so sticky on a summer, hot summer. Even at 6 o'clock, it looked like 12 o'clock in Chennai. So people don't like to touch each other. So on such a day, I was traveling in a bus, and the bus was moving. So on that fateful day, the bus driver braked. So when I applied the brake, I had to brush on the lady in front of me. She looked at me. I told her, "Sorry, ma'am." She said, "Okay." So once again, the bus started moving, and once again, the driver applied brake. Once again, I had to brush the lady. And this time she looked at, "Young man, please hold the bar." I said, "Okay, ma'am." And I held the bar, and once again, the bus started moving. As the bus was moving, my fate, the driver applied brake, and once again, I had to brush. This time she looked at me and said, "Young man, why don't you stand properly?" I said, "Ma'am, either I can stand or hold. I can't do both."
Very good morning and hearty welcome to our very first episode of the podcast, Comedians on Zoom Getting Jilebi. Sir. That is the title.
Very nice.
Right, sir. So, sir, I'm very happy to have you as the guest on this particular podcast because I feel that for me personally, and as well as many other stand-up comedians who have come out of the Toastmasters crop, they definitely owe it to you for the learning that they have from you in terms of understanding humor and other things. So, absolute pleasure to have you here and to learn a few things about humor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kishore. I really like the concept of comedians and the Jilebi. So you are the comedian and I take the Jilebi.
So that's a different story, sir. I'll explain towards the end. Sir,
Okay.
the first thing I really wanted to know was like I have seen you speaking many times, and I've seen you like instantaneously being funny, and no matter what is the situation, you're always funny. So I wanted to understand like when was the first time you thought like, man, for being funny is interesting. I have to be funny. Was there something that actually cracked that spark?
Um, I don't know when this switch happened. It is not that always have been serious. And one fine day, the switch of funny being happened in my life.
Okay.
Right? We were some 18 to 19 kids who grew up together as a big joint family.
Wow.
So the only thing we all had in abundance was the joy of being together, pulling each other's leg,
Okay.
and laughing even when the other kid skids and falls,
Right.
or create some environment where the other cousin can fall and we can laugh.
Oh.
But we will all go back and what do you call assuage the person once he starts crying. Till such time he is serious about everything, we will laugh. Once he is hurt, we will be next to that person to we know that we have
Right.
crossed that small line of enjoyment to feeling
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
So and since 18 of us will be sharp to pull each other's leg anytime, we have to be always alert,
Right. Sir.
and we will be ready to poke fun or make fun. And at the end of the day, we all enjoyed having fun
Yes.
to that extent that when I was going to school, I am 5 feet 1 inches now uh, at 55. So when I was in my second or third standard, proportionately, if it is also, I will not be seen on the road. Okay, so 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 I was maybe, I was around 2 3 feet. I didn't grow much in the next 40 years. So you can take anything. Okay. So at that time, my classmate, one Krishnan, was, when we were in third or fourth standard itself, he was around 5.5 feet.
Oh,
Okay. So he was many times not considered as a student in the class.
yeah, those
So
are
he
pretty good.
cannot be normal like a child, because anytime he becomes normal, children will say, "How grown tall you are, you useless guy. How can you be so careless and reckless?" So he has to be always serious like an adult, even in third standard. So
Ah,
he was.
okay.
So one day he happened, the tar which we lay on road. He took a nice big piece of tar and put it on my head here. Okay, as if he's, because he is tall and I am short. He said, "I Ramesh." Karke, he put it on my head, and it he put it on with Chennai being Chennai, the heat melted the tar in the head also. So, so when I came home. Generally people will be angry, will go and fight with their parents, correct?
Mm,
Your son has done like this. Actually we were fairly comfortable anyway. One new hairstyle you have got, Kirke, my mom and my cousins, they cut my hair only here, like a, set those on top of my head. And uh, and uh, we all had a, and for next 1 week till such time it grew, I said, "Boss, please ensure to transfer the entire," but they said, "No, no, this looks nice. Nobody can see, only we can see, or you can't see,
oh,
we can see," sort of thing. So even today if it happens, it will be a case. Parents will be fighting, having fist
mm,
fights. Those days it was enjoyable, and both the parents were having a high five. Your son put tar on my son, said, and my son had a nice tonsure dead on the son. So I said, "Boss, what sort of parents these people are?" So
yes, yes.
I think the environment itself was so nice. People are taking life
Ah,
lightly.
true.
They were not taking anything personal, and
Mm,
maybe that environment made me look at, being funny need not hurt others. Being funny can even, what do you call, bring down the seriousness of otherwise serious situation. So if you look at it, whenever you saw me funny or being cracking a joke, whenever I find the situation is going to become tense, naturally my mind unconsciously gets into easing the situation with a joke. So being funny had been part of the system, and moreover, those days, that period of 1975's, even movies and theaters, everything was, what do you call, fundamentally having a strength of humor. The
yes,
undercurrent of humor was always there.
right.
Every movie of Balachandar, you can see Lucille Ball, you can see Charlie Chaplin, irrespective of whichever country, whichever genre, humor was the baseline. Because post the World War II and the building of countries, everybody was going through scarcity. Humor was the only thing which was making the coping mechanism for people, right?
Right.
So music, theater, humor. These were the things which was the coping mechanism for people. So fundamentally, I don't know theater, I don't know music. So humor became naturally part of my system. When I do theater or music, others will laugh. So I thought, let me make up humor so that they laugh for a reason.
Good, good.
Um,
Lovely, sir. So, consciously, did you try being funny to impress somebody, like in college or outside when you grew up?
mm, I've never done. I've never done.
Okay.
I can't imagine doing humor for the sake, because humor doesn't come that way.
True.
If you have to be humorous consciously to impress somebody, then you have to bring down somebody, or what do you call, denigrate somebody, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like what you find in some of the stand-up comedies, where you pick one of the audience and try to make fun of them, in the process make the entire audience laugh. That
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
consciously becoming humorous, right?
Right.
So if you want to become consciously humorous, you have to bring down somebody in a, if at all you want to impress a third person.
Yes, yes.
So I would have been like that as part of my, not to impress, but generally, um, in a group, if you have to be noticed, humor is one place where people get noticed.
Right.
So sometimes I would have been like that, because humor was natural and wit and humor was part of me. But one of my friends in a very early days told me, uh, "Can you use your humor for elevating people rather than bringing down them?" He said it casually, but it hit me hard. Uh,
Right. Right. Right.
Sometimes late 80s or early 90s. So after that, I have never done in my life to bring down somebody for used humor. I only made humor to elevate. So
It's really a
impression was
nice
not a.
lesson, elevating someone rather than putting them down. Very
Yeah.
interesting. So, and at the same time, what I've seen is you do a lot of self-deprecating humor. And
Yeah.
how does one get comfortable with doing self-deprecating?
It's actually when you look back only you can do it. Okay, now I can do it casually,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Because self-deprecation happens only when you know your true value,
right, right,
right? When you find your worth cannot be brought down by anybody or anything in the world, then you can talk self-deprecating easily. Correct.
yes, yes, yes.
Initially, you start with when I started my humorous speech as a Toastmaster process. I started it because I can't bring poke humor on other person to make people laugh. So I thought only I'll do it on myself. So when I looked at my own life, where all I'd been more embarrassed or felt more miserable because of whatever I am or however I am,
Yes,
when I observe now, it became humorous to me. So self-deprecating when I presented, audience enjoyed it so much, and they could find their worth in the process. They felt very happy about cracking self-deprecatory humor on themselves because they found one guy standing on stage and talking about himself shamelessly, and we are
right,
all laughing. So it's okay. It's nice. It gives a nice feeling. So
right,
what happens? Humor is such a wonderful tool. You can make people find their real worth, uh,
right.
and they can start self-deprecating because then life becomes easy. I don't have any false expectations or impressions about myself. I know what I am, which means I'm accepting myself for what I am at this level.
Very, very true, very true. In fact, I think the same happened with me for my masala dreams also. Many people
Yeah.
said like you sounded very desperate, and the truth was that I am. So I don't think I can go more desperate than the times I have written and delivered that speech. So very true. So
See, I'll tell you,
yeah,
just to tell you the reason for self-deprecation or acceptance. When you go to a what do you call departmental store, most of the things what you want is kept on the highest rack.
okay,
Where if I go around and look at it, look like I'm window shopping even in my departmental store. Okay, because I can't reach out. If I
right,
had not accepted my limitations in terms of vertical space, uh, I won't ask anybody's help.
right,
On
right,
the contrary, if I found a young girl or a young lady taller than me who can reach out and get that, I don't hesitate to tell the ma'am, can you get that to me? She will
right.
give a look at me, look at that height, and she will give a smile, and
Okay,
she will take it. And I won't leave it at that. I'll say, I know what goes on in your mind, but it is a fact. I can't reach it. And see, these people are not what you call height friendly. These stores,
right,
they should put a small stool for us to climb and get our things also. So we are dependent on, as long as the person who gives me is good looking and interesting and they smile at me, they are
yes,
benevolent to me. I don't mind asking. I tell them
right,
that they have a big laugh at the end of the day. You know, I bring a smile on their face, and my work is also done. They are also done. I have flirted for some time. Everything happens.
right.
So
Without reaching the ice itself, you have the icebreaker.
yes, sir. Yes. Wherever I reach, that is the ice breaking point.
Okay. So good. So then, did you, after one point of time, look at humor as a structure and use it like a formula or a structured approach to building speeches, or be it your technical presentations or other formal presentations that you are doing in organizations?
Um, when I help somebody, I do it. When I
Okay.
want to mentor somebody, when somebody comes with their presentations,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I see that they are making it very dry. Maybe at that time, I'll give them a contrasting perspective to bring humor, right?
Right. Right.
Whereas for my own speeches or my own training, my own presentation, I never tend to bring in humor as part of the presentation because humor anyway comes. So I don't try to make it as part of my structure
Right.
because every incident I look at a flip side of it automatically. I look at the extreme opposite possibility.
Right.
Like when something is serious, I look at the exact opposite of the seriousness, which is humor. So automatically it comes every time I go through that. For me, it has become sometimes it may be detrimental also because where it is not required also it pops up. Now the
Yes.
awareness comes to me is that I should crack humor now, I should not crack humor now. So I'm
Right.
able to hold myself in terms of understanding the boundaries of what I'm doing, and accordingly, maybe some 5 6 years back it would have been natural, irrespective of situation. I keep cracking, wit and humor comes even in a serious situation. The
Right.
other person may once in a while he may laugh, but he'll be taken aback. Why this is coming now? But he
Right.
doesn't understand my struggle because I automatically go to the extreme. I can't be serious beyond some time. I
True.
need to definitely go back. But now I'm able to hold on to that moment when the humor is coming. I'll say whether it is okay to share now or not. But I know when I'm sharing it, when do I need to do it? I know the context. So I hold on to it. And I tell them after some time, when the thing is over, now I tell them, see, I want to share something. Okay, when we were discussing this thought came to me, and they all laugh even then. So which means setting a context when we can do anytime, humor can come anytime. We need not do that time. So that is something which I'm very consciously not doing. Otherwise,
Yes.
for
Right.
others, I mentor and I make them be comfortable because they need to be
And
the
this is
hero.
a very valid point that I have learned in the course of time doing improv comedy also. Every time somebody is very eager to crack a joke, or they're like very focused about getting a joke, getting the laugh, it looks very bad on stage, as well as the whole presentation itself falls flat, like somebody is desperately trying to get that laugh. Whereas the actual scene that we are expecting, or the conversation that we are expecting, isn't happening. So that's a very good observation. True.
Because it reduces the because something is serious, something is reflective, something is hypothetical. At the time when you bring a joke, it dilutes the very thought flow or the process or the intended purpose. uh, but if it is becoming very claustrophobic, at that time to expand them you can crack a humor, they laugh and come back to the serious talk, that is okay. But not when you are really, the purpose is to sit and discuss something. You
Right.
can't crack humor and bring it like when you are struck somewhere,
Hmm.
like say as a set of team of doctors looking at how to treat a patient, they are discussing something seriously. At that time no jokes, but they are facing a wall and pushed to a wall, I don't know what to do. At that time cracking a joke will relieve that uh, thing. They can think better and they come back to solution. So when to do it in the journey of being seriousness, when to crack a joke, when to not, you should be aware of. The appropriateness comes only there. Madman has in the lowest spectrum of inappropriateness, and people who really crack joke at the right time are in the highest spectrum of appropriateness. So even in a humor, there is a spectrum of appropriateness level. So from 0 to 180. So 0 is a madman who keeps laughing for everything, and slowly we keep changing as we go along, and where we become more appropriate is going to be important. Correct. So
Sir, now speaking something personal. So I have met
about
ma'am
you or about me?
about you, sir.
Oh, okay. I know that you are very generous that way.
Yeah, yeah, very much. So I've met ma'am plenty of times, and I've always seen you as one of the most wonderful, lovely couples. And I also know the story of how she was studying marine biology, marine physics, and she came, and I mean, she was your neighbor, and like that favorite Hindi song of yours, "Mere Samne Wale Khirki Mein," and a lot happened. Would you like to tell us about
And what
how
do you want? There are a lot of things happened, censored, uncensored. What do you want?
whatever you would like to share, and that can go on the internet?
Like, invariably, contrast, knowingly or unknowingly, attracts you. In those days, when they had to look for a match for their boy or a girl, they look at the extreme behaviors of the boy or the girl and look for the opposite extremes of the other person for a match, so that not something gets moderated in the process. Um, but even in when you are falling in love, it happens. Um, so you look at exact contrast. We don't know at that time. We only look at contrast, and that's what attracts it. Because mm, as an individual, I need to integrate myself. So I see something as an extreme in mine, and I don't see certain things. So for me to integrate as a natural process for completing myself, I need to integrate what is not in me. So it doesn't. I can't see that in a mirror. Every day I go and comb my hair. I can't see that incompleteness in me, but that is seen in my um, opposite sex when at that age. So I found innocence. I found a matter of fact acceptance. I found taking even the most frivolous things seriously, because I take most serious things also frivolously. So,
Right.
so I have found the exact opposite there, and simplistic approach to life, and not no complications. And if I like, I like. If I don't like, I don't like. There is no multi-layered agenda in my speaking. So
Right.
all these things mm, I could find in my wife when I met her, right? So consciously or unconsciously, we got attracted, and maybe she saw the same thing in me, right? Exact opposite of her.
Right.
All, so all things bright and beautiful that side, or all things bright and beautiful this side, whatever you can call, and that's when it happened. But the good part is. I was studying and she was doing her PhD. I was in my BE. She was doing her PhD and she got a scholarship. In those days of 1889, a prestigious scholarship called the K.S. Krishnan Fellowship. And it was giving her some 3,500 rupees per month in 1889. And for me, getting 50 rupees from my dad or mom for my pocket money for college was tough. So my natural financier was my future wife only. So I was shameless that way. That was another thing. Maybe it attracted her. There's one shameless day around. So,
Definitely, sir.
so
Every guy
because when I was,
would want this. This is like the dream of every guy.
that's what I'm saying. So whenever she says, "Can we go for dinner tonight?" I said, "If you're paying the bill, I'm coming." She said, "Okay, I'll pay. Come." Okay,
Nice.
and shall we go to this temple? I said, okay. While coming back, there is a nice shop where they provide ultimate chaat, jilebi, and juice. So if you are sponsoring that, I'll come to the temple. She said, okay, I'll come. So what has happened is mm, the first time in, I don't know, at least whatever I know, a lady spending for that lover of hers to ensure that he comes wherever she wants. Like a, you know, what do you
Nice.
call that? తెలుగులో చెప్తే బాగుంటుందో bribe.
Okay, okay. Nice. Good,
So
good, good.
that was something wonderful. So I used it also in my humorous speech, if you know that. She was clean, what do you call, half feet taller than me. So people have to bend and give a rose. If I give this, she will take it like this. So I chose this also. That is also an advantage for me. And rose, of course, she has to pay money for me to buy the rose and give it to them. Those days. So anything else you
Good,
want
sir.
to know beyond this?
No,
Anything else you want to know beyond this?
no, no, no. Good, sir. Good, good, good. Nice, nice. And I just wanted to know a little from a professional perspective how humor has helped. And I know like you are known to do a lot of both skill oriented trainings as well as technical ones as well as from a HR perspective. And I also spoke to you multiple times about how you help organizations scale up and things like that. So in this process, how was humor helpful? Would you like to share something so that the professionals also would understand?
The humor is very, very helpful, especially when you are a facilitator of learning. I won't say training because
Right.
we don't provide skills, we only provide awareness. Skill is when they practice and making their ability. So I only facilitate their learning or awareness. And many times the work I do in terms of behavioral orientation or organizational development, It's a very strenuous process. Okay, so humor is one which lightens the situation and makes learning easy for them.
Right.
Because many of the people nowadays, with the current the change in the availability of people, we get only half a day to where we used to get 2 full days for training a set of people. We get only half a day. So, which means half a day they have to go for their work or they have done their work. They'll already be either come with a residue after the work or go with the worry what I'm going to do. So, their mind will not be never fully available for you as a facilitator of learning. So the only thing which can make them forget and be part of the learning process is humor, correct? And when you make humor available to them in a way they laugh heartily, which means they see this place as a non-threatening space.
Right.
Because most of the training facilitation generally comes with the facilitator saying, "You don't know this, I'm telling you," or "When will you never know this at all?" And you people don't, you are very good at this and you don't know anything in this space where I am the authority. So most of the time, the trainer or the facilitator gets into a one-upmanship in psychologically upper than the higher than the trainees or the participants, and generally there is a resistance in them even before the training starts. So in my case, they'll feel at par with me, equal to me, and they have a comfortable exchange of thoughts because they see this person is not coming with some assumptions and presumptions or one-upmanship on us.
Right.
That is one. And second thing, as part of humor is when you really laugh, if you reflected, the moment you laugh heartily, your mind is actually empty. Nothing is there in your mind. When you laugh very hard, if you laugh, at that time the mind is zero. There is nothing there in the mind, no thoughts, only a laughter and an empty mind. So immediately after the laughter ends, if I put something there as a message, it goes and sits in your unconscious mind because you don't know when your laughter ends. At that time, a message goes in, it sits in you. If you remember mothers uh, feeding the small kids when they are able to understand things, okay, or even when they are not able to in a big way, they will make what do you call small things to the kids, make them laugh and tickle them here and there, feed them, and the kid will roll and laugh uncontrollably. At that time, when it stops now, so you listen to mother, it will say yes.
Yes.
After that, it will listen to mother. Okay,
Awesome.
so then they'll make laugh. So many things they laugh. Then they'll say, "You should not go after 6 o'clock. I won't go." It will go into their mind. So when you make them laugh, and at that time it's empty, you put in, they don't know they are receiving it, but they've received it, and it works with them even when the mother is not there. So most of our small things your mom or grandmother or grandfather or your favorite uncle or aunt or sister has done
Right.
will be mostly when you laugh very nicely and they feed some nice discipline puts in it. They don't try to beat you, they make you laugh and put the discipline. So humor helps you that way even in a professional environment. So even when I meet a top management, when they're all discussing, without they knowing, without I making an effort, sometimes a small line here and there will make them smile or laugh. Some people don't laugh heartily; they smile. Or some people only the eye smiles. There is a twinkle in their eyes, which shows they are enjoying it. They won't express the same way like another person. At that moment, they are willing to receive something. So when I make them laugh and say that maybe you can consider this, then it will go and sit in them. After 3 weeks,
Right.
they call me. You told me sometime I didn't get it, but I want to pursue that thought. Can you come? So I go and
Right.
discuss
Right.
again. So
Sure.
many times you don't close a deal immediately, but during the discussion, initial discussion, if you make them laugh, as they are
Right.
laughing, you say what do you want to say. Okay. Then, so what happens? The difficulty is you cannot plan a sequence of what you call statements, and they will laugh here. At this time, I'll say this. You
Say
can't do all
this
the.
kind of a thing. Right. Right.
You can't do that. You can't do that. So the humor should be natural for you. Your intent at the end of the day, if your intent for the business enterprise that they should do well, that they should survive, they should get value. I may not get this contract, but they should do well. I will still
Right.
provide somebody to make them do well. If I have all these things and engage with them without any anxiety or expectation or a worry that I should get this job, I should get money. If I'm not in that space, my interaction with them is what you call It is not threatening to me. What if I don't get this contract? What if I don't give me the training opportunity?
Right.
I don't work in that fear or insecurity. I
Right.
work in a casual, comfortable manner with a good intent. If you give,
Right.
fine, I'll work my best. If you don't give, I'll find you somebody who can do it better.
Yeah,
But let's
it's more
have
of a relationship oriented than a target oriented, goal oriented.
wherever you have, I've never, and I started my organization in 2013. Till date, I have not gone to somebody saying that give me work.
Right.
All my work has been only by reference. Okay, word of mouth reference. One. Second thing, when I go to a person, I don't go with the intention I need to get this work.
Right.
I'll only go to understand what he wants.
Right.
And genuinely, if I can do it, I'll say I can do these things. I can't do these things.
Right.
Or you don't require me. I'll be very honest with them.
Right.
Right? So this helps them a lot, makes them feel comfortable with me. Sometimes they say, I'd like to pay only this much, say X. I say, no, I don't want, give me 0.7X. So they feel, what is this? You're reducing yourself. I said, no, let's start work there. Once you find me as an asset, then we will discuss. And I'll always pick myself lower than what they got to offer, which means that they always feel, I am an asset to them. Because which is true, because we don't know how much value we can add to somebody unless or if you really see it happening.
Right.
And all the enterprises, businessmen, they are all more, except for exceptions, leave them. Most of them are honest. Most of them are sincere. Most of them want to give value to others. They are all good. Which means if they find you as an asset, they'll definitely provide you something. So have the trust in the larger good intentions of the people around, and you are comfortable in your business case and humor, or otherwise it becomes a enjoyable journey.
True, sir. And I think when somebody is humorous, they automatically sound little more genuine. Somebody you can trust with, and somebody you can enjoy to work with. Kind of this thing, which actually kinds of builds the relationship as well.
Yes. Because if humor has to be natural,
Right.
and humor's intent of humor is not to bring down you, denigrate you,
Right.
bring down your dignity. If none of this is operating at humor, then you become a honest, authentic person.
Right.
So
Right.
somewhere that's why I said in a humor spectrum, you go to the most appropriate position at the 180th degree.
Right.
0 is a madman, 180 is appropriate. So when you become appropriate, you are become authentic. Because
Right.
appropriateness doesn't come as a intended thing. It can't come. Like it's like a small kid at 6 or 7, when it is hungry, it can roll on the floor and cry.
Yes.
You and me cannot roll on the floor and cry when we are hungry. We have to be
Right.
appropriate. Which means it doesn't come when now I should not cry. No, you will not cry because you know what is to be appropriate. So
Right.
humor becomes appropriate means you become authentic.
Right.
You become harsh. You
Yeah.
become non-threatening. You become non-judgmental.
True.
Because judgmental when you are, humor will not be there.
Yes.
Because you work within the framework. Right? Only when you break the framework, humor becomes ever all pervading. So when you break frameworks, you become non-judgmental. When you become non-judgmental, you accept people for what they are. Only then you will be able to laugh for whatever it is, and
Yes.
you will be authentic. So all these things is a set of human persona which comes in. That is why humorous people are more mature. If you look at Charlie Chaplin speaking otherwise in an interview or a press, you'll find him so insightful, so wonderful a human being. Similarly, Laurel Hardy. Any of these human, Nagesh, you take anybody.
Yes.
Your Relangi, Brahmanandam, they'll be very serious in the real world.
Yes.
Because they have seen the appropriateness. They have played the role of being humorous. So they'll be really honest and appropriate.
Yeah.
Correct? When they speak normally, they'll come only with insights. They'll only come with wisdom. Anybody you talk, any humorous actor, comedian, you find they're only insightful and you can trust them. It's honest because they are okay with their fallacies. They are okay with their inadequacy. Right? When they are accepting themselves, they'll accept you.
Yeah, very true, sir. Very true. I mean, even I am personally the same, sir. Like I'm very.
Yeah, I know you
Otherwise,
have been like that all.
Yeah. Right, sir. So one final thing is like all this is very interesting, and many a time what I find is many people asking, I really want to be funny, but I don't know how to be funny. People from as new as somebody who has just started off on their Toastmasters journey or speaking journey to somebody who is at the top management. Like, I really want to be funny, but I don't know. So, what is something that you can tell them? Like, how do they start at becoming funny?
See, as long as you are laughing at somebody's joke, you are laughing when you read a humorous anecdote or an experience or a joke, right?
Right,
If you are able to smile, if you are able to laugh
right,
as a human being, which essentially indicates you have that in you, you have the humorous sense in you. First,
right, right,
accept. Because if you are not humorous, you can't laugh. Animals don't laugh.
right,
Right? So I'm only saying, if a human being, if you can laugh itself, it shows you have humorous sense. Then the next level is, can you look at life little lightly rather than seriously?
right.
Okay? Like Dr. Terry Paulson said, uh, take your task seriously and yourself lightly.
Okay.
You take a task seriously but yourself lightly. Many times in our life, we do the other way. We
Right,
take
right.
ourselves seriously and task lightly and we
Task very
fail.
lightly.
So I'm only saying, Terry Paulson says, take your task seriously and yourself lightly, which
Right,
means don't come with presumptions and assumptions about yourself. Can you be what you are,
right,
right? And if you're going to trip and fall, trip and fall. If you cannot reach something, cannot reach something, right? So if you cannot stretch your leg on a railway side top berth, you cannot stretch. Or if you can stretch and put one additional luggage like me, that's a fact. So I'm only saying, right? Can you accept yourself for what you are?
right.
So rather than pretending, and because I want to be that ideal person in my life, and that ideal persona standing in front of me always makes me very conscious about how I react, how I speak, what I say, what I do.
Okay.
The very consciousness kills my natural sense of humor.
Right, right, right. Brilliant, sir.
Correct?
I mean, I try telling this in some of the sessions that I do, but somewhere people are more worried about that formula, like the rule of three or something, because of which something becomes funny, rather than understanding this fundamental element. Like, when they start taking themselves lightly, when they start taking, the situation where they have to make somebody laugh not so serious, they'll be able to tell a better story. They'll be able to poke more fun at themselves, and that will be inevitably subsequently seen in the audience laughter and all. But I think that is where fundamental change has to happen.
Correct.
So
Because see, if somebody asks, have you tripped and fall? No, 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 I have never. If you say that,
right,
no, you're very serious. You don't want
right,
to present a picture that you're tripped and fall in life. Right?
right, right.
We used to say that when we were studying in engineering college, we had a big ground, we had to play football. And me and few people, we don't know football and all those things, but we want to be part of the ground. So we will be part of opposite teams as usual, so 4-5 of us. And all of them, the general people will be, when they put the ball in between the goal post, it's a goal for them. Okay. So we 5 of us will play a game within the game. If we touch the ball, it's a goal for us. So, 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 so because we can't play like them, and they're all tall, hefty guys, and we are
Right.
ticklu guys running around. So we will be focusing only on the ball, 5 of us. If we touch, after that, they will all discuss how the left, center, forward, defense, all those things. And they will also think 5 goals to 4 the game. We will also
Right.
have 3 goals to 2, because we 3 times I touch, 2 times that guy touched. So we will have a team of 3 and 2 people. Totally, how many times we touched, we think. So many times in our college canteen, and they'll say, boss, that girl 5 goals to 4. They'll say, we will also have a Pepsi or a Coke in the
Tally.
glass and say 3 goals to 2, and we will. What these guys are discussing 3 goals to 2? We had a 5 goals to 4 game, but we had a different game altogether. So I'm only saying, you have to find a joy in life, which you are accepting your limitations and inadequacies. Then you will find wonderful things. What the world looks at seriously and how you are looking at it. The contrast is humor,
Right.
right? Not the ideal way.
Right, sir.
The actual way is humor, not the ideal way.
Right.
So we all want that ideal way and never smile. If I
Right.
look at the actual way, we smile, because this is what we are.
True, sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much. And I have just one last thing, sir. Tell us something which is a secret that nobody knows about you. Some dark secret, sir. Something like spicy. first show should go viral, sir. So I will put this one only as the title. What did TK Ramesh do that night? Something like that.
If I say that 92, I got married. And till now we have a happy family.
Oh, okay, sir. So nothing that disturbs the family. Anything, sir.
Not disturb the family. There's some other family will start that. So there is no, for a humorous person and an authentic person, there cannot be a dark secret.
Yeah.
Whatever secrets people hold is invariably something embarrassing, which they don't want the world to know.
Right.
And for us, everything the world know, because we bring it as part of our own personal stories.
Right.
You know? Like I told, and I still remember, third standard is 1973. So 1973, somebody put a tar. I saw that guy some 5 years back in Chennai. Again, I told him, boss, you put this. He says, I don't know. If you say, I'll accept it, because he's still taller, 6.5 feet now. So I'm only saying, if you want, I'll do it again so that you can remember again. That's what he told me. So
Right.
I'm only saying, right from third standard, wherever I have tripped, stuttered, stammered, and fallen down, I have shared at many places, right? Like in my humorous speeches, you would have heard many such things that has come out.
Right.
So even in Toastmasters, wherever I messed up, I have shared. So
Right.
there is no dark secret, and there is no secret at all in humorous people.
Persons.
Even the most what do you call poignant moments or very sad moments, we convert it to humor.
Right.
Like Rajshekhar Mamidana said, when he first started his stand-up comedy and went to a college, and first session he cracked a joke and waited for the audience to laugh.
Yes.
And the audience also waited. Right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So I'm only saying the most bad moment also is humor for us in the next show.
Right.
Correct? So there is no dark secret. And we may have secrets, we don't know. But when it appropriately, it comes out as humor and we share it also.
Yes.
Because we don't consider anything as worth storing or saving for what.
Right.
Tomorrow morning, I'm not there if I don't open my eyes and breathe. So what am I going to save today? So,
Right.
like if you expect some secrets in college days or something, everybody have their own share of running behind girls. Because girls run ahead and we have to only run behind them. We don't have any other choice. And who they hold hands at the end of the day, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah. So one of our Toastmasters, Raghu, used to say that you can only chase women until they catch you.
Yeah. It's like, and we are like that quintessential dog chasing the car every day on the road. When it catches, it won't know what to do.
Right. Exactly.
So that is also there. So no dark secrets, but I'm
Yes, sir.
open
Yes,
book.
sir.
Even I don't know many pages. I am an open book. I don't know even many pages.
Many pages. Okay. Good, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing all these wonderful things. I'm really happy to start this, because I was not very sure of how these interviews would go and what would be there. But I think in the very first episode itself, this was lovely connecting with someone at this level and getting all these wonderful.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
I have one question for you. Why did you choose me as the first Bakra? You tell me.
Sir, not Bakra, sir. It's like, the first one has to be the best one. So that is the reason. Mainly.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay. First time you have told a lie in your life? Okay.
Hey, no, sir. No, seriously. First one is, now the thing is, since the first episode has been with TK Ramesh, I can show it to everybody. Already TK Ramesh did so. There will be many people who would be interested.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
It was no different from discussing with you every other day we have a chat.
Yeah.
Same as what we discussed.
Exactly. Yeah.
You are giving a title, you are giving a medium to this. Otherwise, we are discussing same things.
Same thing, sir. In fact, I was thinking that I'll put the thumbnail as that picture we took in Kerala.
Yeah, we have to.
Small shots ella put to.
Yeah, we can.
Sure.
Can.
Right.
The entire beach itself became famous because of that.
Yeah.
And it got its value because of us. And such a nice beach and these people also. So,
Right. Good, sir. Thank you so much.
thank you
Have
so
a
much.
lovely day,
Thank you.
and I'll definitely get back to you with some more things.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you.
Bye. Wish
Thank
you the very best. And you are one person whom I always look up because of your ability to emote honestly. Correct?
Right.
Even when you sing a song, that emotion behind singing is something.
Feelings.
Feelings. Uh,
Right.
thank you so much.